Alright, I just started streaming. Let's hope the computer doesn't freeze up again.
Okay, old radio night, 11/10/2018, and everybody go ahead and let us know what you got going on there.
Alright, I'll start it. This is Night Ranger talking on a Brownie Golden Eagle Mark III, and got a static D104 unamplified. Got the old DNA Raider fired up, about 100 watts, into my homemade wire J pole, now at about 95 feet, maybe slightly higher. I haven't completely measured it, but I got a compound bow and hunting bow and was able to stick that antenna up in the very top limbs of the tree, so it's probably at least 95 feet now at the top, so it's up there. And that's it for me. Go ahead. How about you, White Dog? You here?
Yeah, okay. I'll take the next one. You got the old White Dog over here in Somerville, South Carolina. I'm on a realistic Navajo TRC 30A with a 515 special 2-pill. I'm on a stock mic, and I'm on a IMAX 2000, probably around 55 feet off the ground.
Sounds good, dear. Sounding good on that radio. I like the way that one has that. It's got like a nice sound to it.
I appreciate that. Yeah, we're going to try to get a power micro. I got to get one rewired.
Right. Does it have that DIN type? I don't know.
It's got that. I think it's a 5-pin. It just slides in there. It's got no coupler on it to lock it on.
Yeah, it's that realistic DIN type. That's 10-4 on that. Crazy man, you want to go ahead and go now?
All the things on radio, that got the radio. 40 channel up on the north side back, D04. We got a dummy talking on this end of it. Can't say the announcer's doggone name of the Galaxy though.
Galaxy Saturn Turbo, Roger.
Yeah, thank you. That's my second voice. Y'all know it or not. I got a IMAX 2000 on. Bottom of the top of the antenna to the ground is 70 feet. Beside that 1160 crazy man with a bullfrog and 2 ducks. See, nobody can't call me that much ducks. They have to say bullfrog and 2 ducks. We back out.
10-4, okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and tell you what I'm talking on there. Brown and Golden Eagle Mark IV. I'm going to try to get I've got it sitting up on top of the transmitter right now, just for saving space. Let me see if I can go down and so you can see the transmitter right there. There's a transmitter right there. And there's a receiver right there. And I've got there's your artificial ground up on there playing around with. I've just started messing with it there. I had it a while back, and I want to say, let me get that out. And so I just put it up there, so give something for Night Ranger to look at.
Night Ranger need to pump that mess up every time I turn the radio to hear him. One of y'all key up, and of course my coach jump off my chair over here.
Well, I got an unamplified D104 on here, so to turn the mic gain up on this thing, I'd have to take the cover off the transmitter, reach in there and turn that screw. I'm not going to do that.
Now I just turn the radio up to hear you. I just back it back down on one white dog key up, caused me to jump out of my chair. Well, we're going to say good evening to the band. S15 Pro on this end, we talking on the same stuff. Striker 497. I'm talking on my Gizmachi Beam 6 element tonight. And we also borrowed off of the air preamp from our famous 21. We borrowed one of those preamps he put out there. That's pretty much it.
As long as you say you're on your radio, we know you're still alive. That's what makes a difference.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, thanks for taking care of the preamp there. It's, you know, it's on loan and all, and I know you're taking care of it there, 10-4.
Yeah, so we just changed all that this morning.
410. Sounding good.
Like what I said there, 15-4?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that what makes the difference. I don't care what kind of radio you talk on, as long as you key up and can talk on it, we're happy.
Get out of here.
Oh my goodness. It comes my nightmare.
Yeah, you know it's true. You know it's true.
And every time you key up, you sound like killing a little youngin' over there.
Hey, good evening, Star Patrol. I hear somebody out there calling, and I'm going to stand by the Star Patrol there. He's on there right now, so we'll get you in a minute.
All right, Dan, well, all right, let me back out of here. That old Star Patrol working at Cobra 139 XLR. Old D104. Dan showing 99, pulling back and going.
10-4, sounding good. Don't go anywhere, just so I want to acknowledge that station way out there hollering, so in case they decided that we couldn't hear them. All right, man, sounding good.
21.
Come on.
All right, I'm going to take a standby. I'm going to hook up another radio.
Roger. Who was that out there calling just a minute ago? You're in Fairfax. Now, the Swamp Fox? Roger, Swamp Fox. I got you in there. I sure do. And I appreciate, I forgot what your cousin, handle was that was in there last week, but he was coming in good. Is he going to be in there tonight? Yeah, Huckleberry, that's right. All right, well, great, man. Shoot, how's everything going up there in that big town up there? All right, Swamp Fox, have a good one. I'll be standing by. Thanks for joining in.
I'll be right back, 21.
10-4. I got to run in the house and get me another refill on tea there and get me a couple of Advil. When I reached up there a while ago to get that microphone for you and Night Ranger, I popped my shoulder a little bit there and it's bothering me a little bit. So I'm going to go in there and spray some icy hot on it and take a couple of Advils and I'll be right back. Had y'all not wanted me to get that, do that, I wouldn't have needed all that, but that's okay. I'm just like that reverse preamp there. I'm gonna, do it because y'all want it there. I'm back out. Hey, let's see. Audio Man 288 said hello to everybody. He's waving a hand. 288, the Audio Man, said hello to everybody out there, and I'm back out. Who's that out there? I hear you, man. You barely making it on that ground wave there. Who's that out there? man, but it's like just barely got any kind of signal. Let me try something here. Let me pull out my RF gain and see if I can get you in a little better. Go ahead one more time. All right, one more time. I did everything I can do. When I pull out my squelch to get all the signal I can get, it brings noise in there with you, but you're there. I don't know if that's Huckleberry or not. Swamp Fox, you still out there? Hey, Swamp Fox, was that Huckleberry? Yeah, there was somebody in there. If it was Huckleberry, if it was him, would you be able to hear him? I don't quite have enough receive preamp. I have to load you up with a little more receive preamp there, but right now I can't do it. I got to get inside there, so I'll just have to be standing by. You can't hear me though. You can hear me. 10-4 on that there. Okay. Well, I didn't know if that was Huckleberry or not there. If he's close to you, if he was out there, you might be able to hear him. But there was somebody way out there though, because it was just the ground wave was just when they were talking, you know. 10-4, it couldn't have been him there. It sure couldn't have been him. All right, well, maybe I'll stand by and see if I hear him again or somebody else out there can hear him. All right, there, hey, Swamp Fox, I'm standing by.
I couldn't make out whoever it was either. I didn't have anything.
Could you hear him at all?
Nope.
Roger. Well, that's the drawback on that reverse preamp, you know. It just makes it where they can hear me better than I can hear them, and I'm sorry about that. I want to work on that. Hello, weed killer, weed killer. Okay, well, Night Ranger, you're going to have to run the store while I run inside there, and it looks like just me, you, or White Dog, I think, is hooking up another radio. I'll be right back. I got to get me a couple of Advils. Joe made me get that microphone, and it made my arm hurt now, so I got to go. I'll be right back.
Yeah, that vintage radio with that vintage body not working too well.
Yeah, 10-4. Well, you know, if I hadn't to get that mic, I wouldn't be hurting now. But that's okay. I want to do what it takes for you to hear me good and for you to be happy.
Well, that other mic definitely wasn't sounding good. You wouldn't have been happy with that. It was, you know, the whole time you were talking.
10-4.
All right, who else we got in here? We had White Dog, we had Crazy Man, we had Star Patrol, we had, I know some others. Who else is in there? Who hadn't spoken up yet? Where's 987? I know 987 was in there this morning. I heard him talking to Skip. He was up on 38 lower sideband when I had the Kenwood hooked up. No 987. Well, did you make it back, White Dog? Well, he's still hooking his radio up.
How about a Night Ranger?
Hey, go ahead.
Night Ranger is Bullseye. Bullseye coming back at you.
Hey, Bullseye, are you the one out there towards, I forgot what it is, the other side of Monk's Corner or whatever that is out there?
Yeah, I'm right around 21's neighborhood. 21's neighborhood. So the Somerville side of Monk's Corner.
All right, what you talking on for old radio night?
I'll be on my Galaxy DX2547 with a vertical antenna about 30 feet up with a Cobra, I think M75 mic. I'm running barefoot, no extra anything, just running out the plug in the wall. How you copy?
I got to almost the S7 on you. You're just a little bit shy of the S7, but still can hear you plenty good over here.
Yeah, my radio's been picking up a lot of static for some reason, a lot of extra static. It seems like what I'm used to. So, but other than that, it's all sounding good.
It runs in cycles over here. When I first moved here, it was real noisy, and then the transformer blew. And that was actually a good thing, because after they replaced that bad transformer, it got a lot quieter. But now further up the road from me, there's something wrong up there towards the where the road hits the stop sign at the other main road. Boy, something's arcing up there. I'm glad that's far enough away that I can't hear it, because when I drive through there with the mobile, it tears it up.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm getting some sort of regular pulse or static, and it's something that I'm not used to. So I don't know if something else is going on, and I think it might be my radio, because I collected up a couple weeks ago. I did something different to it, and maybe I messed something up.
Well, it could be because it's getting cooler and drier. I know where I used to live in Rock Hill. In the winter months, when it get cold and dry, the static would really pick up.
Yeah, but the static I'm getting is not the regular static. It's a regular pulse of static that swings the needle about 7 or 8 every like 2 seconds.
I don't know what that is. I had something that I never did know for sure what it was. I suspected it was maybe a charger for a cell phone or something. Again, when I was back in Rock Hill, and for about a year and a half, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, I had this tick, 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 and it was there for a year and a half. I drove around the neighborhood, and it was coming from one of the houses on the next street over. And fortunately, whatever it was, they either got rid of it or it blew up or something. But I always figured that was some little trickle charger or something doing that.
Yeah, I don't know if there's something. I'm pretty sure it's on my end. You know how when you have a radio long enough, you kind of get used to it, and you kind of know what it sounds like and how it acts. Kind of like driving a car by the seat of your pants. But yeah, it's something a little bit extra in there, and I think it's on my end. And I just didn't know if it was some sort of I don't know how it works, but something in my radio that's throwing out some extra static.
Well, do you have another radio you can hook up and find out, or is that the only one you got?
Yeah, I got another one I might try. I might try it. That's a good idea. I didn't think about that. In fact, I tried my mobile radio, and I was getting a little bit of the same thing, but then I stopped getting it. It's more pronounced on my base radio.
Well, if your mobile's getting it, it's probably not the base then. I had a new heat pump installed, a new Train heat pump, And as soon as they turned that thing on, it's like every 18 kilohertz I had this buzz whenever it would come on. All up, I mean, and I got the ham radio out and it started just below 20 megahertz and was up past 30. And I did some research on the internet, and I wasn't the only one. There were people complaining about that, the train heat pumps and some of the heaters more than 10 years. And apparently the newer ones over the past 10 years, they have what's called a variable speed PCM motor that's notorious for that. And so I called up the guy I bought it from and told him, and I told him, I said, train's got an RFI suppression kit. I said, but I need you to install it so I won't void the warranty. So they came out here this past week, and they installed that thing. They basically put a filter going into the power going to the blower, and sure enough, it shut it up. But boy, it was noisy. It was so bad during the summer months when it was hot that if I wanted to get on the ham radio and talk on sideband above 20 megahertz, I just had to cut the heat pump off, cut the air conditioner off until I come up here and talk, and then when I was done, cut it back on. But fortunately, that he had two big can-looking capacitors with about 4 prongs, and he put that on there, and that took care of it.
Yeah, well, I think I might try your idea. I think I'm going to go through my box and pull out my other radio and hook it up and just see if it's doing the same thing. And just maybe see if I can see if it's in the radio or it's in the air.
Well, that's the way to find out. The fact you picked it up on the mobile, if the radio in the house was shut off, tells me it's probably not your Galaxy base. But, try the other radio just to be sure.
Yeah, I'll probably give that a try, see what happens. But y'all sounding good out here tonight, other than this extra stuff I got on my radio. But y'all sounding good out there on radio night.
Yeah, about 21, they both have these old vintage tube radios out. They always sound real good. I had the noise. I had a fluorescent light bulb. Those are pretty noisy, and I had one downstairs that was pretty bad, and I swapped it out and finally found a bulb that wasn't so noisy. But that thing would come on at night, and I would catch a bunch of racket off of it on the 27 megahertz.
Yeah.
Hey, Bullseye.
Yeah.
Do you have any LED lights around you on anywhere?
Yeah, I got one. Well, no, it's not LED. Negative. It's one of those garage fluorescent lights.
Okay, because LED lights will tear up your radio too.
Yeah, I haven't really changed anything. The only thing it did different was I took my radio someplace else and tried plugging it in and plugging it to a different antenna, and then I brought it back up when I started getting that weird stuff.
410. Don't know what that would be.
If you got it for a minute, I'm going to make a beer run, but then you get to hear my vintage 1977 Midland Mobile going back and forth to the grocery store.
410, you're going to get in the Mobile and talk to us on your Midland?
Yep.
You're not going to try to go in and key down crazy, man. You're not coming that far, are you?
No, that was mission accomplished. That was like climbing Mount Everest. You only need to do it once.
10-4.
But you know what? I had to get right close to you before I could finally step on him, even with that little 200 watt amp in the car.
Right.
I looked on Google Maps. He's like, if you take the amount of distance between you and I, divide it in half, and then subtract out about another mile, that's how much closer he is than I am.
Right.
I hear somebody way out there. Pick him up, and I'm gonna go make my beer run.
Who's that way out there? Come on. No condition for me.
I didn't hear him.
How's that Bones doing?
I'm in the Mobile, over here at Walmart. I need to pick up a couple
items, but also I need to pick up my son.
10, Roger. Hey, does that Walmart over there have gas? That one like the one up in Goose Creek?
Yeah, I'm over here at Super Walmart, and they do have a Murphy's here.
Okay. That one in Goose Creek is that neighborhood one, you know, and they got that cheaper gas. It's like, I think it's $2.19 or some crazy thing there.
Yeah, boy, wish I had known that. I got my gas earlier for $2.29 at the Exxon.
10-4. Yeah, what I do is when I go to work in the morning, I go down College Park Road and check out those gas stations on there, and sometimes they have a little price war over there, and down next to the interstate you got a couple of stations, and they'll be fighting back and forth, and then on the way home I'll come down 52 and St. James Avenue and check those up there around Otranto and see what they're doing up that way. Usually that Murphy and that Shell station, they'll be trying to kill each other over there, you know.
Oh yeah, I hear that all the time, over there, Otranto there, you know, Rivers in Otranto.
Yeah, I use my Buy a Little Plenty card over there at, I always, I keep thinking of B.O. Plenty. That's so, and then, 15-4 might know what I'm talking about. It used to be on the cartoons there. At Little Abner, there was a guy that was on there called B.O. Plenty. But that's where I got the Plenty card. I keep thinking of B.O. Plenty. But anyway, yeah. And I go over there and get, you know, 5-10 cents off a gallon on the gas there. But you can only get 20 gallons for that discount price over there.
I hear you on that. Yeah, I usually try to go to the cheaper one. Not always, but I always try to get the cheaper gas.
Oh yeah, man, if I can save a few dollars, you know, I think I'm doing something, you know.
On my account, you know, being a mobile and all that truck, I mean, if I had a truck, I would definitely always fill up with the cheaper, but I'm only saving a couple of pennies anyway.
Roger, well, you know, it makes you feel good when you know you're doing something like that, even if it's not very much, you know.
I'm just glad to see it going down, because right after they said on the news, it seemed like right after they said it on the news that the gas prices were going to be shooting up past $3 a gallon, and it starts dropping again.
When is that going to happen?
They were saying that like 2, maybe 3 weeks ago on the news that, you know, expect prices to go up on the pumps during the holidays, but they had said that prices were supposed to go down, and they went up. You know, it's just one of those things, you know, you really shouldn't listen to the media.
That's true. That's right. Too much. Yeah, they gotta gouge you when they can, you know. It's like, there's really not any reason for them to go up on it, and they will, and you figure they go up 5 cents a gallon, or 2 or 3 cents a gallon, and, you know, 100,000 people fill up a tank. It's a lot of money. We don't see it, but it adds up, you know. It don't have to be much. It adds up. It'll buy one of them's wife a brand new Cadillac, you know.
Or buy more than that. I mean, look at the whole nation as a whole. I mean, yeah, they're raking in money on us.
Well, you know, the Federal Reserve has been inching up the interest rates. That usually causes the value of the dollar to climb, which causes the barrel of price of oil to go down. So if the Federal Reserve keeps popping that interest rate up even at 1/4 of a point at a time, it should, as long as the supply and demand doesn't change drastically, it should help knock that price down.
Where'd you have night range at? Still on his base?
No, I'm on my mobile.
That was him right there, crazy man. He's in his mobile.
I'll go loud and strong. Now you run off my scale my radio. I can hear him out there a little bit. He's not racing my needle.
Yeah, I'm out here just pulled out on, headed up towards Muck's Corner. And here's my vintage radio, my 1977 Midland 79-892 40-channel sideband with the Cybernet PLL02A chassis. And I'm using the stock hand mic that's got the clarifier built into the hand mic.
Mark. Okay, guys, I'm going to go ahead and put this mic down, run in the store, grab a couple of grocery items, and then wait on my son to get off work. Have a good one. It'll be me, 388 Bones, and we're backing out.
I got Barnes. You take care of him. Be careful out there. Catch you when you get back out there.
See you later.
Yeah, about 21.
I got you. Come on.
All right. I'm on that RCA co-pilot, 40-channel base station.
10 Roger. That's the first one you had?
Yeah, that's, well, it's the second radio I had.
Okay.
Yeah, it was brand new in the box. I bought it back in 1983.
10-4. That's the one you did have the D104 wired for one time?
Yeah, I had the original D104 Tug 9 that I bought in 76.
410. What do you have it wired on now?
That's what the old Tug 9's wired to my Galaxy.
Okay, I got you. Well, it's getting out. It's getting out. Let me stand by and see if that 15-4 can hear you. Somebody out there.
Hey, good evening, White Dog. You got a good signal. The modulation is low, though.
Yeah, I gotta get all these radios wired up so I can put my D104 on it.
Yeah, damn right. But it's nice and clear, but the modulation is just low. But the signal is definitely out there.
All right, man, appreciate that radio check there, 15-4. All right, let me see what else I can hook up.
10-4.
That Mark III with that Turner 21, it sounds awful good. Nice and smooth out here on the mobile.
Too bad gap I got there. I took that gap out of there. That 3 pound on stop that I got from U.S.A. ain't worth 2 cents. We're working on getting this gas, you know, it works good. There's a stick on it. The other one don't have a stick on it.
What do you have on the Galaxy now? What kind of adapter you got on there?
My 6 to a 4.
Isn't that what's on that other one?
Yeah, it's bad.
Well, take that one off that's on the Galaxy and put it on the Ranger.
I only got teed off and I put that thing back together. Nice ag for it.
10-4. Throw it in the floor.
No, I threw you that laptop that went off and scared the poo out of me. I threw that on the floor.
Oh.
I got too much junk over around that radio. I ain't get putting some stuff in that back room.
I didn't get to race the train this time, 21.
Yeah, who's that calling? Go ahead. All right, Huckleberry. Yeah, you coming in good there. Coming in real good there from Fairfax. Good to have you in there. Let me stand by and see if anybody else can get you in there, right?
Yeah, I was going to ask you, the guy that hollered at me from North Charleston last week, I couldn't remember his handle, and I've been trying to write down some names and keep a little journal. Do you know who that was?
I don't know. Really, it could have been 15-4. It could have been Crazy Man, Night Ranger. I just don't remember. I remember you on there, but I don't remember who exactly was talking to you.
Hey, 10-4. That 15-4, that kind of sounds familiar. He said he was from North Charleston.
Yeah, 10-4. 15-4, you hear him out there, the Huckleberry?
Yes, sir. And I think we did talk to him either last week or the week before. But we got a good double deuce copy on you. Huckleberry, if you got a grip 15-4, we're trying to get it back. Come on.
Hey, 10-4, yeah, I got a real good copy on you. Like I say, I've been trying to keep a little journal there, all the new people I talked to, and I wasn't quite sure that's what your handle was there, and I'm glad you're back out there, 10-4.
That's that right on, Huckleberry. We appreciate the bump down, and have yourself a good weekend. What's left of it, and we get a chance, we do it again, no doubt about it. Huckleberry, you know who it is. 15-4, I'm back in these bushes.
10-4. 21 there, I was going to jump in my mobile. I've been doing some work on it, and I got some
Hold on a minute.
talking up to about 60 miles, and I was going to try to give y'all a shout on it in a few minutes, if y'all don't mind listening in for me.
Yeah, Roger, we'll be here. We'll try to hear you there, Huckleberry, when you get in the Mobile. All right, that 434 is out there, the mouth to the south, and I'm going to get on the side there. I will be back with you. Go ahead and get in that Mobile. Hello, 434. Yeah, Huckleberry's up there in Fairfax, South Carolina. Where'd you go there, 434?
Yeah, I'm just sitting here trying to test out a 12 foot on the truck. I was trying to get a little talk time on the 12 foot.
10-4 and a 12 pill. It's doing a good job.
Just slowly putting it with a 2-wheel driver. I just want to make sure it's more work as a backup. It might be easy to hook up.
Roger on the backup, okay. And, well, you got a 12 pill with a driver and a 16 pill and with a driver and a 24 pill. And you have to ride on top of them, don't you? Did you make a seat out of them with a backrest?
I tell you what, if I stack all my boxes up, I'd be able to clean the gutters out of the house, no problem, sitting down.
I hear you.
Good evening there, 434. We heard you. We were just trying to keep it open for that Huckleberry way out there. I know you didn't have.
I apologize for jumping in like so I didn't hit Huckleberry, and I barely heard you at first. But anyway, 15-4, you're 434. What is the lot of teams?
Yeah, all right, 434. Always a pleasure on this end, as you know. You know who it is on this end. I'm back in these bushes.
How about it, 21?
You make it over here to Fairfax, South Carolina.
Hold up, hey, white dog, hey, Huckleberry, you calling 434 or which one?
Yeah, I was just letting him know he was making the trip over this way there. I didn't know what his location was there.
Well, 434, that's Huckleberry up there in Fairfax. He said he can hear you.
Oh, good grief. I'm out here in the middle of my cul-de-sac revving up the engine. Y'all on 15-4, I'm right here. South Carolina?
That's a Roger. What you got on him up there, Huckleberry? About it, Huckleberry, Braid.
Hey, yeah, I ain't in there 21. I must be got some people in between me and you kind of stepping in there and messing up the signal there. I was trying to get a 20 on that 434 there, right?
Yeah, Roger, yeah, he's in Goose Creek. He's in Goose Creek there, Roger.
10-4 on the Goose Creek. On 434, you making a good trip over here to Fairfax. Old Huckleberry back out of the way.
434, he said you was making a good trip to Fairfax, South Carolina, and that's that Huckleberry, and he's back out.
Hi, Huckleberry. I turned the truck your direction. Hey, Huckleberry, my long Yukon looking your direction, break.
Huckleberry, did you get him that time?
Yeah, I got him. Right after I got him, somebody stepped in there, and I was trying to make sure he was talking to me. Yeah, I got a grip on him, no doubt.
He said, yeah, he got you there, 434.
I say, I'm pointing straight west right now. I am pointing straight west right now, and I'm trying, but I'm not pulling him in with this Cobra 25.
10 on that point west, Cobra 25. The old Huckleberry's got you down here Fairfax, no doubt. Sounding good.
Can you hear him, crazy man?
I can hear him. He's in there. I can't make out what he's saying.
Can you hear him, White Dog?
Yeah, I can hear him out there, but like crazy man, I'm having trouble pulling him out. But I know he's out there.
Hey, Dog, you're getting a feedback in there.
White Dog, do you have a talk back on or something?
Hang on, let me check. How about now?
Nah, it's still feeding back.
Alright, let me disconnect this. I'm running a Delta Echo Master. Let me unplug it.
Well, just cut it back a little bit. Turn back on the gain on the mic.
Yeah, how about now?
Dead key one time for a 1-2 count. Perfect, perfect.
Yep, I concur. Sounds good.
Huckleberry, can you hear that White Dog?
Yeah, I got a copy on the White Dog. Sounding good now. Got rid of that squeal. I got a good copy on it.
Did you hear him, White Dog?
Yeah, I think he said he had a good copy on me.
Yeah, 10-4, yeah, okay, well let me stand by. Being you can hear him and you holler back at him, I'll just stand by.
Hey, Huckleberry, walk it on back to White Dog.
Hey, 10-4, I got you in there. Got you in there with a solid 2, swinging a 3 there. Sounding good down here in Fairfax.
Alright, 10-4, appreciate those flowers. Alright, man, I'm going to take a standby and put my other mic back on.
10-4, we appreciate the wave there, and old Huckleberry back out.
Oh, hey, Huckleberry out there.
Yeah, come on. Think I heard a Star Patrol.
Good evening to you, Huckleberry. Good evening to you, Huckleberry. The man with a small radio just bumped out.
I hear you hollering at me there. Somebody come in and jammed up the signal there. When you give your handle there. Come back to me again.
Call me Star Patrol. Call me Star Patrol down here in Charleston.
10-4 to Charleston. You making a good trip over there to Fairfax there. We appreciate the hand wave there.
I'm back.
Hey, 10-4, man. All right, you take it easy out there around Fairfax. Star Patrol, North Charleston, South Carolina. Pulling back and gone.
Going to North Charleston, doing it up this way. Old Huckleberry, we back out.
Looks like I get rid of this five guys, put me in room and then down up there. 434, where you at out there? Hey, 434, you still out there? Must have got out of Mobile and went back in his house. He might have went to get something to eat on that end. Alright, I guess I'll go back and watch the football game. Hey, Star Patrol, White Dog waving a hand. Right back there, White Dog, good evening to you. Long time don't hear from you. Right, 10-4, that's why I definitely had to wave a hand to that Star Patrol. Yeah, man, I thought y'all guys gave it up, man. Don't hear nobody out there no more. I thought you gave it up.
No, I'll never give it up now. Come on now. I've been on this thing since 1976.
I ain't seeing more, yeah. You've been on it just as long as I was out here. The other day I went over his house, had me a duck and cars. Found out you do a ride. What do you say, crazy? I said camp back out there, buddy. We'll see where he's at. Thought he might kick the bus and flew away. Dust got done and blowed him away. I told him he don't get on the radio. We be over there every 2 or 3 days at him. We got to start winning jackets, though.
Hey, Crazy, how cold is it supposed to get tonight?
I know, but somewhere around 30 or 40.
Oh, no, I got to go in the house and get a jacket.
It's 51 right now. I'm on the car thermometer.
Two of them candles, two of them big candles, they keep it warm in there.
It ain't cold out there.
It is over here.
51 degrees. 51 degrees in the car thermometer.
Stuffing me. Boy, I don't want to use because he's shaking.
Hey, Timo. All right, let me back out here. Sorry, there's some people out there talking. We pull them back on the side.
I had to stop and go back, go for a football game to catch back, go up the road. Wouldn't be waving a hand at you anyway. We're back out. They call me crazy now. We're back out.
I was saying crazy. Y'all take it easy out there. Old star, back quiet.
I hear you out there hollering. Is that you, Swamp Fox? Tell Roger there, Knee-High, you sounding good. Knee-High, stand by just a minute. Let me get this video started again. I had some kind of problem. I want to get you on there. Hang on a second.
Knee-High. What about Knee-High? You got a copy on it? Bucky County? I know you don't.
He might hear you just skip on the road now, so he might get you at ground where he might send you on there crazy.
I want to get me another antenna like I had over in Del Valley. I want to give you a hard time. Had that 4 pounds on the bottom, about, I think it's 8 foot. Weighs on the
Yeah, that 5-8 ground playing. You had that 5-8 ground playing. Yeah, well, they still got it out there. You can go ahead and buy a brand new one. They got 2 of them out there. One can handle 1,500, and one can handle 5,000. So you can go ahead and find one you want. Yeah, well, that just will be on the top end if you need anything, you know. Yeah, on ground, please. Come on, John Star. AT&T rolling that. Yeah, Mount tell me to tell you he got you, Roger. That ain't no Mount, that's number 3. Oh, that's number 3. You key up, you saw like Mount just now, Roger. All right. No, I don't sound like no 434. The first one you came in there, when you were telling I got him, you sounded just like him. I don't sound like the 45 there. That Tom Pickens in a, I think he went to the I think he's ringing my phone now, but I think he went to a hockey game. Hey, Tim, boy, you think he went to the hockey game? All right, number 3, evening time to you. We ain't gonna tie the channel up. 61, pulling back.
Who's that way out there that keeps hollering? Is that you, Swamp Fox? It's either Swamp Fox or Knee-High. Knee-High, let me wave and get out the way there. Wanting to get you on there. Something happened to my live recording there. I had to start over again. Hey, Knee-High and Swamp Fox to 21, we're waving.
Let's start this thing in now.
gonna get out the way. Have a good one.
Yeah, Lehigh out here and down here in North Charleston. Lehigh, if you got a copy, I can hear you down here in North Charleston, Roger. Alright, Lehigh, you take it easy out there. Call me Star Patrol, North Charleston, South Carolina. We pulling back. Roger, phone. We pulling back.
Hey, Lehigh, you got White Dog over here in Somerville. We got a copy on you, but it's not that good, but I know you're out there. I can hear you. You got the old White Dog over here in Sangaree. I think he just came back to me, but I'm having a little trouble pulling him out. But hey, Lehigh, you have yourself a fine one. The old White Dog over here, be on the side. White Dog, he heard everything you said and he's back out. Hey, I appreciate that, 21. Roger.
How about it, crazy? Crazy man taking a break.
Hey, whenever you get down there, White Dog Swamp Fox was hauling for you up there in Fairfax, South Carolina. That's all I tell you, so let me get out the way. Hey, Swamp Fox, I appreciate you acknowledging you can hear me. Come back and see if I can pull you out of there. Swamp Fox, come back to him again. He come back to you, White Dog. Yeah, I can hear something out there, but I just can't pull it in, 21. 10-4, okay, let me get out of the way.
Hey, 21, did Crazy Man leave?
No, I don't know what happened to Crazy Man. He was in there a minute ago, and then like he dropped off or something there. Crazy Man, you still in there? Seem like you're not as strong as you were before. Is that what you're seeing over there, 15-4?
Yeah, he's on when he completely went out in my receipt while he was talking to Star Patrol. I mean, I got nothing on him.
I can hear him, but he ain't as strong as he was.
He's off of my needle. That's why I was trying to call him. I thought maybe bump a switch or something. I don't know. But he was off of my receipt.
Yeah, I had about a 9 or 10 on him. I got about a 4 or 5 on him now.
What you got on me, Coppinger?
You better get from underneath my antenna.
Come back, Coppinger.
You better get from underneath my antenna.
I hear you. As long as I don't sound like carpet, that's good.
Yeah, you almost sound like him, too. You trying to get it. You got a little bit of him.
Yeah, I know, but he look like 45 coming down the road, though.
And I've made it back home.
10-4 there. Hey, Crazy Man's got some kind of problem over there. You all of a sudden dropped down on us there, right?
I noticed while he was talking, I was out in the mobile. I thought he dropped back a little bit.
It's the radio or the antenna?
Star Patrol, he had a hot summer over there.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he needs another antenna out of coax wire. He might have got a loose connection. He needs to check something out.
Hey, crazy man. Hey, crazy man, wiggle your coax going in the back of your radio, kind of wiggle it there, and on you, I don't know, you got boxes and switches or what you got, or check it on the back of your meter.
Can I step on him now?
Okay, well, I'm gonna shut up then.
Hey, 21, is the way he is right now, does that mean I can step on him without having to get in my car and drive over there in front of your house?
Yeah, 10-4, you got him now.
No, now he ain't.
What you did, Crazy? You hit the switch?
I go like, Tony. What about that? Tony, want to call you Tony? Yeah, what about that yank on it?
Oh, okay, well, what was it? Well, it couldn't have been a loose connection, because you checked all in. What was it?
Back off and try it again.
Oh, okay, good. Hey, there's somebody way out there keeps calling out there. See if somebody can hear who it is.
Yeah, who is that way out there? Come on.
Who's that out there calling there? Come on. Yes, Swamp Fox, I got you. You said somebody was calling you? Okay, Huckleberry, come on. All right, Huckleberry, I got you in there. I sure do. I barely got you, but I got you. And you're in that mobile up there in Fairfax there. No doubt. I got you, okay? Roger. Okay, man, you got a good mobile there doing that from way up there. All right, I'm going to get out these fellas' ways. 21, back out.
Does Wizard still get in here on his mobile up there on the overpass?
I hadn't heard Wizard in a while.
I wonder if Eliminator is going to show up tonight.
I know you will. You're fighting for it.
He can come in here and bend my needle over there with that big, what is it, Mako 300 he's got?
I used to have one of those.
He sticks me over with in the red with that thing. Him, and I think the only one who puts more on me than he does is Red Light.
I used to have an old Mako 300 and a Mako 750.
You want another one?
Who?
You.
No, those things get you in trouble.
Temple.
Yeah, they big 8950s in those things. Isn't that what it's in them, 8950s, or is that other funky number, 2047 or whatever that number is?
Yeah, 8950s, and you can jack them up, put the M2057s in there. All right, let me stand by. Somebody's talking over you.
Yeah, who that called me?
3.
Hey, you on that 4-2? Okay.
That's why I run. I got that, Roger.
I think it sounds good, man. I'm going to fall in at Somerville, man. I got a good copy on you, man. Done. I think I got one sitting in there. I think I'm going to keep that in that 25. What's that, 20? Hey, we got the same thing pretty much, don't we?
Yeah, but I'm not using the 2517 right now. I'm on the 2985 DX RCI. Yeah, but we got the same kind of radio on the other one, Roger.
Yeah, but because I wanted one day, I want to show you, I got a switch on back in that 2517. I don't know what Thunderbolt put on there.
He might got probably some kind of extra channel or something he might put in that thing for some special thing you want. You need to plug it up one day and hit that switch and see what it'll do.
Yeah, I want you to look at them twos and make sure I think they're okay. They're pretty bright looking, though. I think one you got 4 and I got 6.
You can, oh yeah. Yeah, you got 2 more than the one I got over here.
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, I got Captain Kurt behind you, but I yell at your name, man. You sounded good over there in Somerville.
Hey, 10, roll 10, roll. All right, take it easy out there, 3. While y'all rolling around out there. Old Star sitting back here watching the game.
You watching the Clemson game?
Hey, 10, roll.
I just found it on there. What's the score?
Last time I looked at it was 10-7.
Yeah, there it is. Okay, they just stuck it on there. Yeah, every time I key up, I kill my own television set.
Oh, you got bad RF.
Yeah, it's just an inside antenna, you know, and it's not doing real good. I need to get one like you got over there. Actually, I need 2 like you got over there.
Well, what I got in here, it's an inside antenna, but I'm not interfering with it.
410.
See, I guess I ain't running on that bad RF like you doing over there.
No, I got a metal building, and it don't like I can't get I can't get a telephone call in here or anything, so it don't like this metal building there. It's a nice little antenna, you know. It's I think it's a RCA. That's what it is. RCA amplified antenna. It's got 2 whips on it, and rabbit ears, and a little foot sticking thing out the back that you can stick down there and put it on an angle. And a little transformer you plug into the wall there. That's what I'm using, but it likes to be where it can look out the window.
Hey, 10, well, yeah, I know what you're talking about. I have one of those, but I don't use that one. I use the other little, what do you call it, that clear TV one, little flat one. I got that hooked up on the wall.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. That thing always reminded me of a flat water bottle.
Yeah, one of them hot water bottles, yep.
That's the kind, used to get a stomach ache and they put that on you, you know?
Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah, well, you got that metal building, so you need to try to run something on the outside, and then, it'll probably work.
Oh, yeah, I just need to get it outside. I just had other things to do, and get me one of those beam antennas like you and somebody else has got with a remote control for about $40 and put it up about 50-something feet in the air where I can turn it around and see what's happening up there in Columbia,
Yeah, I got a little one on the outside that got the remote control, but I don't even use that anymore because I think a tree limb or something that hit it. It still works, but the little remote control part, it don't turn like it's supposed to anymore.
Yeah, that's a real delicate motor in that thing, I mean, it can't be a whole lot of good, really, for $30-something. I mean, shipping and everything. I mean, I couldn't believe. I mean, how in the world can they have a remote control, a daggone beam antenna, and all like that for that price? That thing, but anyway, when I put it together for somebody else, but as soon as we got that thing together and it ran just a little bit, it quit turning.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know that one. I found that one was in what's that one, Maxway store?
I saw it and then I just picked up. I think I picked that up for about $21 or somewhere around there. That was about 3 or 4 years ago, and I tried it out. It did pretty good, and then you know, a little limb hit it and stopped the motor from turning, so I just got it out there.
10-4, 10-4. Okay. All right. Well, let me get on the side there. I'll be bucket mouthing. You one that's doing it too. You trying to get me in trouble? I'm gone.
We just a million crazy caused that.
You know, they do make some crappy TV rotors. I bought one here not long ago, and it wasn't any time at all for that stupid control box. You know, got to where it was getting out of sync. You know, you think they'd make a decent TV rotor that wouldn't break, especially the control box over nothing, without having to go buy some real expensive something.
Yeah, that's when they give you the little cheap one first, and then they want you to upgrade. That's when you want to go deep in your pocket.
Well, you know, back in the 70s, they had those Channel Master ones, the brown ones with the dial that would, rotate. And after a while, I noticed that several guys in the neighborhood had them, and all the same thing. The rotor outside would still work, but the pointer on the inside would stop working. And I opened those things up, and they had planned it. They had designed it right from the start to do that. Because inside that thing, it had like 3 plastic gears, rotating together. And then in the middle of that, they had one wax gear. And that gear was designed for the teeth to break off so the pointer would start or stop, and you'd either have to go buy another one or pay somebody to give you a new wax gear. But they did that on purpose by putting that one wax gear in the middle of those 3 plastic gears.
Yeah, that's how they get on the consumer.
But the one I just got off, I think it was eBay or Amazon here. I got it a few years ago. That was just so poorly made. It was just, it just started falling apart. Of course, it probably was made over in China. The rotor still works, but the pointer, I keep having to go open it up and get it where it lines back up with which direction it's headed. But yeah, piece of crap.
I had to start the video over again. I was sitting here looking at my radio, and the needle was moving on the radio. I was looking at the video, and the needle wasn't moving. I said, what the heck is wrong with that? That's why I got that sign up there, that fan, that prints out words, so I can tell if the thing has stopped working. And it did, so I had to restart it again there. Anyways, I don't know what happened. YouTube said, we're experiencing problems. Do you want us to try to fix it or whatever? And I thought, yeah, right. Go ahead and do it. You don't have to tell me, but they never did, so I redid it.
Well, that's the problem. I tried to start the video at like 52 minutes before right before the hour, and my whole laptop locked up, which it doesn't normally do, but it did that time. I looked over and the mouse was moving, but I couldn't minimize Windows or pull up another program or anything, so I had to reboot the whole computer. And that was Linux, which doesn't generally do that.
On that OBS studio there, can you have 2 cameras at one time going into that?
Yes.
Okay, I might try that next time. I tried putting 2 cameras on here and it didn't. I don't remember what happened, on the YouTube thing.
You could have 2 cameras. You could have split screen, 2 run at the same time. You could have 2 audio sources. You could have more than that. I don't know what the limit is, but I'm pretty sure you could do more than 2 if you wanted to, if you had enough USB ports.
Yeah, 10-4. Well, I'll just start out trying to figure out how to even get on the thing without having all of that first, and then I'll gradually find it. Oh, yeah, okay, I can do that, but, I'm not as smart as you are, so I have to take my time.
We still got to do stereo night one night, if I'll have to figure out how to, I guess I'll have to get one of these USB expanders, because between the mouse, the camera, and the USB audio in, which I'm not using right now, but when I do like Skipgate and the others, I do try to do the direct USB audio in. That eats up all my USB ports, so I'd have to get one of those little expansion things. But one night we're going to have to do the stereo radio night.
Yeah, 10-4. Didn't we do that once before?
No, but we talked about it.
Okay, I know what it was. I got Pirate number 9 out there in California to make one for us. That's what it was.
Well, yeah, when you had my video gate on one side and yours on the other, but that's not what I'm talking about. We'll talk about it later.
I know what you're talking about now, okay.
I don't know if Mark's on your webpage or watching on your stream or mine, but he'll appreciate this. Last night I was down on one of the other ham bands listening to one of their nets. I won't go into which one it was, but there was a young ham in there who was obviously 3 sheets in the wind and having a good time. He wasn't misbehaving, but he was definitely sloshed. And he was young and he was silly and giggling the whole time, and it reminded me of Mark / Alexander the Great all those years ago, and his voice kind of sounded a little bit like Mark when he was drunk back when he was 20 years old. I can't wait for that guy to go, Kleenex!
987. Hello, I'm gonna stand by a minute. I gotta do something.
Hey, 987, I got you on a video gate this morning talking skip. I was running a video gate when that skip was running up on 38 lower sideband, and you're in there weekly, but you're in there. Well, you were talking to somebody, you know. I don't remember who it was, but you were talking to somebody out in Skip. Well, it's on the video gate. There's 2 from this morning. I was running the Kenwood 850, just listening on sideband, and you could hear you in there. You weren't moving the needle, but you were in there. Yeah, it sounded fine. Well, which radio are you talking on? Is that the Quad 5? Okay, which radio did you say that was? Yeah, okay, that's what Star Patrol was running earlier. That's a classic. That's from like late 1970s, early 1980s. Well, it sounded good. Your audio was clear on sideband. I didn't hear anything wrong with it.
Wizard is out there. He's 15 miles north of Mount Pleasant, I think, or 15 miles there north of Mount Pleasant, and he's wanting to see if we can hear him. So let me see if we can get him. Y'all listen up for that Wizard. Wizard, can you hear us? Break, break.
Try you one time. I mean, I ain't got nothing but over 29, but we trying to play around.
I got you in there, Wizard, on that Cobra 29. I got you in there, come on.
Hey, Wizard, I got you, and I can't pick you up on the radio, but I can hear you on live. Hey, Wizard, I can hear you in North Charleston.
You guys keep keying on him before he unkeys. Wizard, I got you over here in Monk's Corner if you can hear me. This is Night Ranger.
Hey, Wizard, I got you over here on the... Yeah, I can't hear nobody.
Alright, well, you're making it anyway. You're making the video gate.
Radio? Yeah, I got a copy on North Charleston. Alright, Tim, bro. Okay, I can hear you over here. I'm not too far from the Trident Hospital over here in North Charleston, Roger? Roger, we sounding pretty good on that side? Yeah, coming in clear. I got about a 4 on you over here. You sound crystal clear. Not too much echo or anything? No echo. Alright, just want to make sure. We appreciate it, man. Alright, we're waiting from the Mount Pleasant side, 15 miles north. Well, 15 minutes north of Mount Pleasant, man. We appreciate it. Y'all be easy, and we have to keep it stopped all the time. Over 29, nothing special with a little grade 300. Well, that little call, that radio was talking with that little 300 making the trip over here. And you say you 15 miles away from Mount Pleasant, or you right in Mount Pleasant? About 15 minutes north of Mount Pleasant. Oh, 15 minutes north of Mount Pleasant. Yeah, Mount Pleasant used to be my old hometown over there. Yeah, see, I just happened to get a service call over here. Roger, you get a service call. Okay. You working on something over there tonight. Alright, we thank you, man. Y'all have a good night. 21, we appreciate it.
Alright, the Wizard, yeah, man, you kind of threw me off there with the name. I didn't quite remember. I thought I had seen it before, but anyway, let me stand by, because a Night Ranger had you in Moss Corner, and a 987 on Johns Island has been hollering for you, but y'all both been talking at the same time. Let me stand by and let's see if you can hear that 987. Alright, I'm back out. Wizard, did you hear him? Can't hear me now. I keyed up and you was talking there, Wizard. Did you hear him? My signal must have to go like to Columbia and come back or something. I don't know. Alright, I'm back out.
Yeah, everybody, Wizard, White Dog, Somerville, we got a copy on you.
I got you now. I got you barely in the background. How about it, 21? Yeah, we appreciate it. Yeah, we got you.
White Dog, he said he had you there. Wizard's got you.
Yeah, I heard him. I didn't know who he was talking to. All right, there, Wizard. You have yourself a fine one. White Dog on the side.
All right, 987. Take care, boss.
Yeah, Wizard, I don't know if you can hear me or not, but Night Ranger over in Monk's Corner. I got you about S3 up here, Monk's Corner.
Barely got you, barely.
Hello, Wizard, from Johns Island, 987 from Johns Island, waving a hand.
I'm gonna step back and let y'all do y'all thing, man. We appreciate it again. Like I said, 21, y'all boys have a good night. How about it, 987? You got a copy?
I got a copy.
Yeah, this is Slammer in my mobile, sitting in my front yard here, Roger.
Well, Roger, it's sounding good over here with the Sam,
Hello, Slammer in your front yard. I'm waving.
Yeah, Roger, 21. I'm out here doing tile work in the house here, Roger.
Yeah, 10-4 on that there, 10-4. All right, well, let me stand by a minute and see if them other fellas will holler at you. I got to go put up the CB dog. I'm back out.
10-4. All right, copy unit to you. Slammer, stand by.
Break. Go ahead, break. Yeah, I just wanted to throw Huckleberry. I just want 10 to 21.
No, that was Huckleberry.
Huckleberry. 10-4 Huckleberry. Take it easy on all that 21. Know you're going 10-7-2. Take it easy, man. Have yourself a good night. 987, Johns Island. Standing by. 10-4, 987, Old Huckleberry, back quiet. And 987, Old Swamp Dog took the road in from me. He said to tell you hello. 10-4, man, 10-4. Where that Swamp Fox can be at?
I had to go look up Fairfax to see where it was.
Well, tell that Swamp Fox I said hello there. Take it easy, man. Have a good night over that way. 73, 987, Johns Island, standing by. 10-4, 987, yeah, them conditions is getting me a little bit on trying to pull you in there. That Swamp Fox just wanted to wave a hand at you. And, old Huckleberry, we'll be back quiet. Roger, roger. What is the aim of it?
I don't know if Eliminator is going to make it tonight. It's about time for him to show up.
Hello out there, white dog.
White Dog, can you hear 987? He's calling for you.
No, I can't hear him.
Hey, 9, 310, can you 10-5 some white dog there? I'm waving a hand.
I just did.
White dog, he waving a hand at you.
Hey, 987, 987, wave it right back. I'm having trouble pulling you out, man. But hey, right back to you there, 987.
Roger, roger. Appreciate it, everyone.
You can hear White Dog 987?
Yes, sir.
Okay, alright.
First, I don't have my antenna very high up right now. I got to do some adjustments and this and that. Basically, get a brand new antenna. I don't have it very high up right now either. My, what are you riding my back?
I wish you'd go ahead and put it back up, man.
If he's got a tall tree around there, he needs to make that wire J pole I've got on my video and then stick it up there in the tree limb.
You know, Night Ranger, I would do that though, but I need to get a hold of some ladder line over here. Do you know of a way I can get a hold of some ladder line?
Hamradio.com's got it. It's cheap.
Where's got it?
Hamradio.com. Amazon.com's got it for that matter.
Roger, roger.
You only need about 9 feet of it.
Roger, roger. I'll probably end up getting a little bit more than that. That way, you know, I can do other stuff with it too.
Well, even a 50-foot roll is not that expensive, you know.
No, not at all.
Well, go ahead and get something to eat.
Well, I think I might need to go out and get me something. I'm trying to think of what I want.
Night Ranger.
Yeah.
So you got all kinds of things over here to eat.
Hey, Night Ranger, chicken foot up in Charlotte, North Carolina's on there on the internet. So I don't know. I told him that you used to live up that way and still go up there sometimes. So anyway, he's on there. Chicken foot.
I remember that handle.
10-4, that's him on there. Chicken foot, say hello to Night Ranger. Key the mic down. You can't hear him. He's inside my computer.
Well, I did hear Charlotte a couple of weeks ago, 2 or 3, 4 weeks ago. I did hear somebody up there in Charlotte talking.
He's saying hello to you, Night Ranger.
Hello, Chickenfoot. I definitely remember that handle.
I'm halfway tempted to get some pizza.
I can't eat pizza this late anymore. It gives me heartburn, wakes me up. But now I could do it when I was younger.
First thing you gotta remember, I'm not as old as you.
I wish I wasn't as old as me.
But you get what I'm saying.
I could get away with doing that up to maybe about 42 or 43 years old, but then something changed, and now I can't get away with it anymore.
Hey, Night Ranger, you're on the YouTube name Carolina Pirate, right?
Yep, Carolina Pirate. But yeah, it's actually Carolina Pirate. Is for those who don't know, YouTube was giving me grief because I was trying to create Carolina Pirate, and they're going, Carolina's not a real name, you know, and they wouldn't let me do it. So I tricked them and told them my first name was Carol and my last name was Ina Pirate.
Yeah, 10-4, 10-4. Yeah, I'm in South Carolina, near Charleston, near Chickenfoot, and Night Ranger, he's up there in Moss Corner, and he's got a video going right now, a live stream going on YouTube as well, and his is Carol, C-A-R-O-L, and then I-N-A, and then capital Pirate, capital P-I-R-A-T-E, just capital P. It's Carol and Ina Pirate there. He's got one also, and hey, you can check him out there. Alrighty then.
Yeah, I think I might be right back. You know, I think I'm gonna go get me some pizza.
Well, get them to deliver if they deliver in the area. Pizza Hut, Domino's, Godfather's. No, not Godfather's. What was the one on him at? Papa John's.
Well, where I'm at, no, I can't get it delivered.
Then get DiGiorno.
Nah, I'll just go do Domino's and go order and pick it up and all that good stuff.
Yeah, like they say, get DiGiorno. It's not delivery.
I don't have an oven.
Oh.
I don't know if you had that commercial in this area or not, but when I was living in Phoenix, there's a brand of pizza called Freshetta, and they had the best commercial. You know, Freshetta's a frozen pizza, and they had this little old like granny, sitting in a grocery store trying to sell Freshetta pizzas, getting people to try them, and she's sitting at a little table in the grocery store, and every time would say, you know, it's not takeout, so she'd she'd go, and she'd go over and she'd pick up this great big guy, much bigger than her, throw him over her shoulder, and then grab a pizza and start taking him out. And he would be like, "What are you doing?" And she'd say, "Shut up, you're making my ankle swell." And then she'd get him outside the store and put him down. She goes, "There, you're out." And then she'd hand him the pizza, take out pizza. And then she goes back to her table and she tries to sell to this next great big overweight guy. He says, "But it's not takeout pizza." And she's like, "Oy vey, I'm getting too old for this." That was the funniest commercial. The first time I saw it, I about fell off the couch laughing.
Where'd you go, crazy man?
I'll show you.
Okay.
When he's out there talking, I can't half hear him. I sit back watching TV.
You can't hear now, Ranger?
Barely.
How about that, 21? I can get on this antenna and talk to Winston-Salem, but crazy man can't hear me.
I know that's something, isn't it?
Heard you loud. This last time you come out here, I heard you loud. For some reason I can't pick you up.
I got around 400 watts to talk to crazy man.
It might be something leaking out the back of his radio, and a while ago he had to grab a hold of it and shake it, and you might not have been in there. You might have fell on the floor crying, that Ranger.
That must be it.
Yeah, you don't put up, take up the cover off the radio and adjust it, and you come right back out.
Yeah, but how do we know what he was grabbing, 21? I know, we don't know.
Yeah, I don't know about that, because you can never find the damn thing.
Oh, no!
Just around 73 years old now. He do me no damn good spell work, those damn thing, I can't find him anywhere. When I come to go to the bathroom, I can't get him. I'll snake, he stick his head out and go, well, I must got you.
Well, tie a string to it, and then all you gotta do is pull the string and you'll find it.
That's from my bike.
Dust the front of yourself off with some talcum powder and look for it.
Go get some bright pink spray paint and spray paint. There's some glow in the dark paint.
Take a pair of pliers and mash it, you'll find it. I'll be right back. I'm gonna switch to 14 and see if I can hear that roll call up there in Georgia.
Hold on while I check to see if this thing is drifted. Just a little bit. 1049. There it is. 1050. I'm a perfectionist. Yeah, if you listen to some of the recordings, or if you listen to people talking on a tube radio, the old tube ones versus the later solid state phase lock loops, you can definitely tell when a tube radio, from the 70 or 60 keys up, if another signal's in there with it, because you can hear it go, doo, as the oscillator loads down and the voltage drops a little bit, whereas, of course, those phase lock loop radios usually stay locked right in place.
Roger.
There's a guy that was running one of those 21. He's running one of those SDR receivers that he was down in Beaufort, and I logged into it. I don't know if it's online right now, but I logged into it. I was trying to see if I could. I was going to try to see if I could pick us up on it.
Right. Was it? Let's see. Down there. Let's see. Was that Lazy Bones Jr.? You don't know. Was it on YouTube?
No, it showed up on one of the SDR websites, and it had has a map of the world, and you can zoom in on different parts of the. It's like a Google map, and you can zoom in on it, and wherever it was, whoever was running it, it was located in Beaufort. I logged into it, and listened to a couple of frequencies on it.
Yeah, who's calling me? Come on. Alright then, 987 in the Mobile, headed to pizza, to go to the pizza there, get pizza. I got you in there, 987 Mobile, Johns Island. I'm going to stand by and see if anybody else can hear you. Can anybody hear 987 Mobile? Hello.
He's up and down on me.
Yeah, I hear you. 987, I can hear you, Mobile. I hear that Mobile just a little bit. You're over there in the Mobile, going to get something to eat. Alright, 10, alright, 987, you taking these out there in the Mobile? You're kind of going in and out on me. Old Star Patrol pulling back in, y'all. Yeah, I'm going back here and watch the game. 987, go ahead and find something for me too. I'm looking for something to eat myself. I'm back quiet.
I just checked that Beaufort SDR receiver is offline. The next closest one is in Alpharetta, Georgia.
410 on the Alpharetta.
I still haven't gotten a reply from that guy down there in Tampa. I sent him an email, and then I got a reply back, but it was like, I think as if either Craigslist or his computer was infected with a virus, because I got some goofy email back that just had an HTTP link to a defunct domain. So either Craigslist servers or that guy's computer is infected with a virus, and it's mailing out anybody that emails it. But in any case, I haven't gotten a reply back from him.
Right, well, he's got a cell number on there.
Yeah, I haven't called the number.
10-4, Roger. Well, I'd call it, but, you tell me what you want me to do. You know more about got that particular style of thing than I do, and you know, I can call him if you want. I mean, I don't want to, you know, I'm not, you know, whatever you want to do, you can tell me.
Yeah, well, what I'd really like to find, you know, I'd like to have the I'd like to have the Henry 2KD Classic. You know, I've got the 2KD-5, which is nice, but the 2KD Classic is a little roomier, and it's got the chimneys on the tubes. The 2KD-5, they crammed everything too close together, and the tubes are almost touching each other, so there's no chimneys. But there is a blower. But given the choice between the two, I'd rather have the 2KD Classic. So, or even maybe the 2KD Premier, which is a 3CX 1500A7. So, I don't know. I might, at the Charlotte Ham Fest, if I see one of those sitting around, I may jump on those, one of those, and then replace the 2KD, or put the 2KD-5 up for sale.
10-4. There's a guy on Facebook said that he wanted to know if anybody else had this problem. He had two 3CX 3000 box, two of them in it, and he was blowing up his LEDs in his house. He wanted to know if anybody had any problem with that, and they told him to back his wattage down at least 7,000. He was running 7/8 inch hardline. And they said to back his thing down to 7,000. And then another guy said, report the bulb manufacturers to the FCC because they're not compliant.
That's just too much juice. That's just too much juice. I mean, even if I ran up on an amp like that for steel, that's just too much power. You know, once you hit the kilowatt range, even the 400 or 500 watt range at that point, you know, it's easier to get another 3 dB out of the antenna than it is to go to the trouble to put something like that in line.
Oh, yeah. Just too much of a chance that, I mean, it's like I was talking about, you know, you want to put a nitrous bottle on your car, or you want to put a supercharger on there. Everything's got to be right. The engine's got to be dead on it, balanced, blueprinted, and all like that. It's going to blow up. Just like that stuff there. You know, you got to, everything's got to be right. You got to be constantly monitoring it there. Anything can happen, you know, and just that hard line is a fortune. Everything that goes with it, you know, so it isn't no cheap. Running something like that, you know, you need to, you know, it costs a lot of money there, and constantly checking it all the time.
Yeah, and you know, with that 6-element collinear array I got, when the sunspot cycle was a little higher, there were times I got 30 over reports out of New Mexico with 200 watts, you know. And yet, as big as some of those stations are down there on Channel 6, you know, when the skip falls out, it doesn't matter how big they are, they disappear.
10-4.
You'd be like that mobile, that guy I was telling you about over in Rock Hill that had that mobile with 5 alternators that no matter where he was in town, he was putting a 30 on me on his mobile. That's the only mobile I ever seen do that. And of course, then he had to sell his stuff because he was going blind. He had that antenna over his head and it was cooking his eyeballs. But I would listen to that guy from the base calling around, and there were all these people 80 miles away or more calling for him, and he couldn't hear any of them calling for him. You know, he was just oblivious to all these people calling for him because although they could hear him, he couldn't hear them.
Did Alexander the Great get on your side over there?
He hasn't said anything if he is. Alexander the Great, if you're listening on 21 or My Video Gate, type into the chat room.
Alright, I'm back out. What'd you say you was doing over there, hey, Slammer? I tore my bathtub out yesterday, and I'm putting a stand-up shower in there, and my wife decided she wanted me to tile all the walls after I got the shower in there, so now I'm tiling the walls, and I'm putting glass in the center of the walls, and then the rest of the tile on the sides. That's what you're doing right now? I
just finished what I'm doing tonight, because I'm tired and I'm going to bed.
10-4 on that there. Well, I know what you're up against there. Well, you gonna let that set up tonight, and then you're gonna go in there and grout it tomorrow?
Yeah, I didn't even get all the walls done. Shit, I still got... I ended up having to go in there and straighten up. Come to find out there was still a window inside the wall, and so it was all jagged in there and everything else, so I had to tear all that out, reframe it, and everything, the whole wall on one side, so, and then put all dirt rock in and everything else, so I've got one wall done almost completely, and then I got two side walls done.
Yeah, 10-4, what y'all gonna do? You get finished, go out in the yard and use the water hose and take a bath?
No, I'll have the shower part finished tomorrow. I'll have the shower ready to go. She'll be able to use the shower tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, 10-4. What I do when I had some problem like that, I just got two big garbage bags and duct taped them together and cut a hole in the top, got inside of them and taped it up and cut a hole in the top and shot the water down in the top of the thing there and did it that way.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay. I don't think my legs go over that, but anyway, yeah, I'll have finished up tomorrow. Alright, y'all have a good night. Slammer's shutting this mess off. Y'all have a good one.
See you later. Crazy man, this Slammer.
Slammer, have yourself a super fine evening. Get you some rest, man. Yeah, I'm gonna need it, I promise you. I gotta get back up in the morning early and get it started going again, so. But we'll get it done. I appreciate it. Y'all have a good one.
You got a radio check?
Go ahead, radio check.
I just got a unit Bearcat 880 installed. I'm just testing out, seeing how it does.
That sounds pretty good. I got almost 7 on you over around Monk's Corner.
Alright, 10-4, appreciate it.
One thing about it, for some reason tonight, the camera's got a clean picture of the radio. I don't know, it's not blurred up or anything. I don't know why. The other night, I guess it was light shining on that chrome, bouncing off into the camera. It's not doing it now.
Well, mine, I pulled the camera back initially and was going to try to get the bigger view of the Browning, but then it washed out the meter. You couldn't see the signal meter. It was just a rectangular blob of light. So I went ahead and zoomed it in.
10-4, I wanted y'all to be on the lookout for me a Courier Royale bag that goes on the radio. So I was thinking about getting, so a friend of mine works at a liquor store there, which I don't drink anymore, but if I'd have saved all of my ad, I guess I could have done it, but get those Crown Royal bags and make me a Frankenstein Crown Royal, a Courier Royale bag out of Crown Royal bags. That'll be my pimp radio.
And you got to get a gold D104 to go with it.
Oh yeah, I got that. That's a scratchy one. I got a couple of them, I think. I got a regular one that's a Tug 8, and then I got a Tug 9. I like to find the Tug 8 there, but I wish they'd have done a little better with that gold. I don't think it's real gold. I've never seen gold tarnish. Gold don't tarnish, but that stuff does. It's on there.
Yeah, and they had the one that had the diamond. There's one version that had some diamonds on the back.
Yeah, that's one. I got one of them. It's one diamond right in the back of it there. Little small diamond, First one I ever saw like that is Watchmaker had one brand new in a box.
That was the guy in Rock Hill that had one. That was the first time I'd ever even heard of it.
Like I sent, I think, last week, the one I wanted. Only saw it one time, and never seen another. No one's ever heard of it, but I saw it. 515 had it. He said it belonged to somebody else or something. This has been 30 years ago, I guess. I don't know, but it was a Silver Eagle. And when you looked at the front of the microphone element, it was an American flag in behind there. Instead of it being the black felt, it was an American flag.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
That was the 1976, what is it, bicentennial edition or whatever, whenever, you know, they did all of that stuff with the Statue of Liberty and all that.
Yeah, that was a big deal in 1976.
10-4.
Man, CB radio was wide open too in 1976.
Oh yeah, man, that's good old days there. Like I say, everybody on the street had an antenna, you know, just about, and you know, you blasting away, and they said, "Oh, you're bleeding on me," you know. Now there's somebody get on here and be like, "Oh, you're bleeding on me." Where were you at in those days? Are you talking about bleed over when the man, you couldn't hear anybody. If you know, you had to be on the channel that they were on, or else you didn't talk.
Yeah, and the selectivity on some of those radios wasn't very good. But yeah, there, you know, you'd have several people in your neighborhood, and you know, shoot, Rock Hill was a total of, what, 5 miles across, I think, at the widest point. And I mean, there were tons of people to talk to. I was sitting there on a 100 milliwatt walkie-talkie, and I had lots of people to listen to and lots of people to talk to. And then, of course, and then I finally get that little 23 channel Midland. Unfortunately, it had reasonable selectivity on there, but still, the ones that were eating me up were the Elkins. Oh my gosh, that was the worst. Yellow Rose and Shade Tree, and both of them had an 8-tube Elkin, and both of them had Moonraker 4s, and you know, modulation clipped radios with D104s, and they were both within a mile, probably, of my house, a mile and a half tops. And oh my gosh, when they turned those 8-tube Elkins on, they ate me up.
Best 4th of July I ever had.
Yeah, those are definitely, they like to bleed, you know. I tell you. But, yeah, White Dog, that's when you bought that radio and all you had a while ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, man. I'll tell you what, man. 1976, 4th of July. Ryan Cooper there. In June, I met my wife. 4th of July. Man, what a summer.
10-4.
I have lots of fond memories of 1976. I do. I remember that year very warmly.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, this month, celebrating my married 42 years.
Shoot, I had that walkie-talkie. That's all I had back then, that 3-channel Radio Shack walkie-talkie. I took that thing with me everywhere. I didn't even get on my bicycle, and I had a homemade whip, which was pretty comical, hooked to the back of the bicycle, and I'd take the walkie-talkie and had a strap on the back, and I'd hang it from the handlebars, I think, or try to ride with holding it with one hand, and the volume turned up, and ride around with a little wire running back to that makeshift whip, you know, my little spider bike. And then, of course, I was sitting there when as soon as I got home from school, I'd turn that thing on to Channel 13 and listen to the teen and 20-something channel, which was Channel 13. And it was packed full of teenagers and 20-something-year-olds, too, especially on Friday or Saturday night. They're all those mobiles running up and down Cherry Road, you know, talking back and forth to each other.
10-4.
And Channel 7 was the big adult channel. And the teenagers, we all got along, you know. We were fairly well behaved, but oh my gosh, so the adult channel, Channel 7, they were always fighting dead keying down there. I mean, it was always somebody dead keying that channel. You think the children's channel would be the misbehaved and the adult channel would be the, you know, the more adult but well behaved, but that wasn't the way it was. The adult channel was the worst behaved and the teen channel was one of the best.
Yeah, 10-4. I tell you what, those guys that used to, you know, work on the radios and all, they made pretty good back then. Like Pappy's up there at Gaslight Square. You know, he was one of the legitimate ones that was around, and there was a whole bunch of guys that, you know, worked on them, and one guy up near Somerville at Calumet Valley was old Uncle Bill, and an old man up there, you know, and he was something like me, you know. I can work on stuff a little bit, you know. I can do a lot of it on there, but one thing that bothers me is I can't see as good as I used to, and I really, you know, I get agitated on something if I can't see it. So, but he would do cut and clip and you know, put mics on for people and you know, peek the radios out, and he didn't use anything except a watt meter, and but that's all he, you know, messed around with back then. And but there's a whole group of them that lived back in there, and in that little trailer park. It was a pretty good-sized trailer park, but a lot of them had CB radios, and that's how that they would, you know, talk on that instead of on the telephone.
Well, there were two guys in the area that worked on radios, and one of them was real good. I don't know about the other one. They went by Doc Charlie, and he was real good. I mean, he was a genuine tech. He's self-taught, I think, and got his ham license. I don't know if he'd been doing that in service, but the guy was very good, and he was well regarded. And there was another guy, and it's been, you know, since the 80s or 70s since I've heard his name. I can't even remember his name anymore. But people would take themselves, either take the radios to Doc Charlie or they'd take it to the other guy. And I don't remember much about the other guy, but I watched Doc Charlie, and I watched him tear apart the radio, and I mean he was good at repairing it.
Yeah, there was some good ones out there then, you know, and but it's not there. They're not there now. They're all gone. But you know, there's still a few around. All right, well, there's someone else coming in there. Let me stand by. Crazy man, I think somebody's wanting to holler at you there. How about it, crazy man? He must have went 10-7.
Must have.
I know that 15-4, I know he's about tired there, aren't you, that 15-4?
Yes, sir, we just getting ready to bump it down and say goodnight. We're going to have to put get our knees in a breeze. Sunday morning's coming real soon. Anyway, we enjoyed it as always, brother. Put it on your later. You know who it is. I'm clearing go.
All right, there, 15-4, appreciate you stopping by, man. And we'll holler at you later. Hey, if you don't mind, put a couple of words in there for me and Night Ranger. You know, be heavy on the Night Ranger side there. You know, put a little 10-5 up to the big CB station in the sky. 021, we go.
Are you saying Night Ranger, he needs some extra work?
Well, I want him to, you know, what it is, I want him to get in there first in case I need a radio worked on, you know.
That's right. Y'all have superpowers. Put it on you later. I'm going. Bum.
Talk to you later. Have a good night. Hey, 21, if you really need some extra praying right now, you can always talk to that 777 out there in Arkansas, and I'm sure he'd do some preaching for you.
Yeah, the country preacher, yeah. I had to find him there on, what frequency was that he was on?
Well, sorry, I forgot about the squeal. Well, during the summer months, sometimes you can find that hillbilly preacher 777 out there on 38 lower sideband, but when he ain't preaching on the CB band, he shows up on 7.2 megahertz lower sideband on the 40-meter ham band.
Okay.
And he slipped up, as you heard on that video. He slipped up and said 777 Arkansas on the ham band is giving his ham call. That guy, I don't know if he sings on 40 meters, but he was notorious for singing on the 38 lower side. But he'd sing nothing but the blood of Jesus. Now, some of those guys on 7.2 megahertz, they need some preaching too, so it may not be a bad thing that he's there.
Oh, yeah.
I heard somebody poking fun at him the other day about that. I don't even know if he was on there, but I went down there and a bunch of them were fighting, which is not unusual for that frequency. And I heard somebody key up and say something about 777 Arkansas. He went by the E Street Preacher at first. When I first started hearing him, 777, the E Street Preacher. And then he changed to the Hillbilly Preacher.
I got this on Facebook. He had this picture of the Undertaker, you know, that wrestler or whatever, and showed him in a coffin. It's all real dark and blue colored picture, you know, and like they did it, they try to make it look scary and all, and he's raising up out of there, out of the coffin, you know, sitting straight up, and it says, when you be like, you hear somebody selling you CB equipment. I told him I'm going to take mine with me so I can talk on that CB Heaven.
I was trying to think just, you know, I guess what am I most nostalgic about? You know, the old walkie-talkie, the TRC-27, TRC-27, the Midland 13853 that I had, and my first DNA Hornet, which unfortunately Butterfly destroyed playing music for more than an hour. I'd let her borrow that because she's out in the country, and I was using a Palomar 300A at that point. And I happened to go by Channel 4, and I recognized her signal, and she was playing music, and she was mad at somebody up in Charlotte, like she was going to mess with some guy in Charlotte from Rock Hill with a 45-watt DNA Hornet. I called her up to tell her to unkey that thing because I knew it wouldn't handle that. And she was on the phone yakking, so I was getting a busy signal, and she burned the transformer out of it. She called me up a day or so later. She said, "That thing smells funny." Oh, that was an understatement. That thing stunk to high heaven.
Well, it was a combination of the bake light getting hot and the transformer.
That transformer was completely smoked, and it had gotten so hot it had bubbled the paint up around the bottom of the transformer where it was mounted to the chassis.
Careful.
I was so mad at her. I mean, I knew she was a teenager. She didn't have any money, and she had no idea how mad I was at her. But I didn't want to end a friendship over. But I mean, I was hot in the face mad with her. But I knew she had no chance of paying me back at that point in her life because she was, a little teenager. And I didn't want to end a friendship over it, so I just had to swallow it down. But years later, I got after her about that. She said, well, I told her, she knew how much it cost me, like $70. Like in 70. She said, well, I'll give you $70. I said, oh, no. I said, at 15 years old, I went out and mowed lawns all summer for $5 a lawn to come up with the $70 to buy that thing used. I said, so you want to pay me back, you take number 70, divide it by 5, and that's how many times you got to come over and cut my lawn with a push mower.
I'm sure she did.
No. If she's single, I'd make her give me an hour back rub for every $5 instead.
10-4. Hey, I emailed you about that sonar, how I did that variable capacitor on the, it's probably in the circuit there, whatever, for the crystals there. Anyway, I found some on eBay, exactly the same thing, that had never been used, you know. And so I got that capacitance and inductance meter. It's not real great. One thing I noticed though, if I'm touching the leads on it, not the ends, just the wire part, it'll start going kind of up and down, you know. So I had to watch that, and so I had another sonar that was exactly the same radio in the whole 9 yards, exactly the same place that it was located. I unsoldered it out and I read it, and it read 4.5 PF, whatever, anyhow, yeah, and be a picofarad. And then, so then I got the new one and set it exactly the same, and put it in there in the other radio. So hopefully it'll be close enough, because the Sam's Photofax says it's a 4 to 12, but actually when you get the thing it says 3 to 12, and so all of them in there say 3 to 12. So I was real happy with that, and it worked out great. I'm glad you talked me into getting that meter, a capacitance meter.
Yeah, it is good for that. I got it more for the inductance, you know, on mine. Yours is very similar to mine, because my multimeter already had the capacitance reader in it, but I wanted the inductance too, and so I had to get a single purpose or dual purpose meter to get the inductance. And in my case, you know, because at the time I was rebuilding a bunch of the DNA Raiders, and switching them to the 22JG6A coils and some of the other DNAs, as well. I was pulling the coil out, that big clunky 40, 20, or 15, 10 meter coil, and putting in a 10 or 10/11 meter only coil to make more room. And so, to make sure I had it right, I was using that meter to test the inductance of the coil to make sure I had the right number of coils and right size, and that, instead of having to guess and guess and guess, and that way I could just wind it and test it, and if it came with the right value, then most likely it was going to work when I dropped the new coil in.
Well, yeah. Well, now, is that coil insulated against touching anything else, or what? It's just made out of, is it enameled, covered copper, or what?
No, the ones on the DNA, they're just bare. Some of them are copper, and some of them are some type of silver metal. And some of the coils, you get some of those DNAs in, the raters come in, they'll only do 75 watts, and it's because the Q on the coil's too low. You pull that coil out and go get a higher quality copper coil and stick it in there, and you can get it up to 100.
Okay. Well, does it have to be isolated from everything?
When you're measuring it does, and of course once you put it in there, you don't want it touching anything except what it's supposed to, or else you get a short.
Oh, okay. I just didn't know. I know, one of them's got that big giant coil. I think it's one of the Phantoms or something. That big thing runs all the way across the bottom,
Yeah, they all have that. The Hornet, the Raider, the Maverick, they all do. And, I'm never going to take those things on 40, 20, or 15, so in the case of the Raider and the Hornet, because they're already so cramped for space, if I got to do any work, I pull that out and then put a 10/11 meter only coil in there. In the case of the Phantom and the Maverick, you got enough room in there that you really don't need to mess with it. It's already got plenty of room.
Well, what is the inductance on it, on the coil, just a guess, for 11 meters?
I don't remember. It's been a while since I've replaced one, but I took the coil out and then did the tap, of what was working, and then I wound a new coil that was just for 10/11 only and made it sure it had the same value.
Right. Can you, with that same meter, do that, what is that thing that burns up all the time, that 14 something, what is that, whenever you drive it too hard, what is the name of that?
The chokes, the Z14, the yellow one, that's usually, you find those in varmints. You don't really see those too much in DNAs. The DNAs have the no, it's the Z28's the yellow one. That's the one that's in the varmints, at least the little ones. The orange and the new ones are blue. That's a Z14 ohmite RF choke.
Yeah, you can ohm that. You can you read it with inductance.
Yeah, you could, and I think it tells you it may tell you on there what the value's supposed to be. But those are plentiful. You can still get those. The original ones are orange and the new ones are blue, but it's the same thing.
Yeah, I've seen them on there. Okay, well, we got a Roger beeper in there, so let me stand by. Crazy man, I think somebody's calling you.
As a matter of fact, I got one. I've got a bunch of them if you need one. I got the Z28s and the Z14s.
10-4. Well, let's stand by a minute and let him call Crazy Man, so I'll be standing by.
You need a squeaker for that.
Yeah, 10-4, yeah, you need to draw out Crazy Man.
Let me figure out where I put it.
I guess White Dog went 10-7 too.
I don't know where I put it. I had the Kenwood and everything over here, and I had to clean the desk off to get the Browning over here, and I don't know what I did with the squeaky.
4-10. Wow, it's 20-7. Clemson's winning. 20-7. I mean,
Here it is. The Crazy Man caller. He didn't answer, so you know he's gone to bed now.
Kind of like that one I sent you that, Roger the Rabbit busts through the walls whenever you play shaving a haircut.
Yeah, that detective, he's like, he's not going to fall for that, and he turns around and he's like fidgeting.
Yeah. That movie made him a lot of money. Everybody went and saw that.
It was a good movie.
Yeah, had some eye candy in there, but, it's a cartoon. I'm going to have to get out of here in a little bit. I got to get in there and get ready for the O2 Radio Network there to check them out there.
Is that 11?
Yeah, they're somewhere around, I think that's about when it is. Maybe, around that time. Yeah. And I get on the website part, not on the YouTube part, but you can do either one. O2 Radio Network on YouTube. But I don't get as many. I don't see as many people making comments. On the O2RadioNetwork.com, they have the people in there making comments and posting things about the radios that they show out there. They have all kind of different old radios. Some I never even heard of.
Somebody posted a picture of their collection on, I think it was CB Radio Show and Tell. I was like, dang. I mean, that guy, he had like 4 of every radio. It was nuts.
Yeah, this one guy's got I don't know. It's crazy. He has them all at the walls and around the walls and everything, man. I tell you, as somebody said, that's a sickness,
I mean, I've got a bunch of radios, and I've been, slowly but surely whittling it down. But I didn't have to have. Well, there is one model radio that I have a bunch of, the little Midland 13853s, which is the first full power 23 channel SCB I ever had. And I do have several of those, but they're cheap, you know. Fortunately, it's not like trying to collect brownies or trams.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I just want to get a couple of radios there. You know, I've got to whittle them down myself. I'd like to have one that works and one for parts. You know, that's the way I'd like to have everything that I have.
Right?
Go ahead.
Hey, how you guys doing out there? Just got home, man. I'm glad to catch you in time to say hello.
Doing good there, 45. I was wondering when you was going to get out there. Were you just kind of barefoot in the night?
Yeah, I was just on the fly, man. I went to the hockey game, and of course we're struggling. Your team's terrible. I got home a little while ago.
10-4 on that there. Well, good to hear you out there. Yeah, we're just getting ready to get out of here, and thought Crazy Man would be out there so he could say hello to, but he must have went 10-7.
No, it's okay, man. I thought y'all might be gone already. I just want to say hello to you, man. Yeah, I'll be down and out on a lot of Saturdays because I'm tied up with this hockey, but they don't play. They go on tour, you know, away for weeks on end sometimes.
Yeah, you go with them?
No, no, I wouldn't spend my valuable cruise money on that.
10, Roger, I didn't know if you was a diehard hockey, you know, fan or not. But I know when I was up in Massachusetts, man, you say anything wrong about somebody that's on a hockey team up there, they'd try to beat the crap out of you. They go crazy for it up there.
Well, yeah. Well, it's pretty popular here too. It's just I don't travel with them. I mean, I have, you know, been a season ticket. Oh well. Now I've had the 20th year here. I've had season tickets there. I didn't get on the year before last because I just had to get a break, you know.
Yeah, 410.
So I don't know. But no, I don't want to beat anybody up or anything over what they say about a hockey player.
Roger, I don't remember what it was. It's something they said they went somewhere in a hockey. They went and saw a fight. They went to a fight and a hockey game broke out. Go ahead there, 987. You got your pizza, and let me stand by so 45 can holler at you.
Yeah, that sounds good. I haven't been able to get a lot of pizza lately. I've been on that diet. I've had it like 3 times in 6 months. Yeah, wave a piece of pepperoni over my way. Just don't drop any toppings off the pizza.
He said he didn't want to go out and get it. I said, well, it's not delivery, it's DiGiorno. Well, if meat lovers don't have pepperoni on it, 10-4. Ham and what else you got? Ham and hamburger meat and bacon and what else? 410. That's Little Caesars. 410.
Yeah. Well, you don't like pepperoni on 987? Yeah, I hear you. Yeah,
All right, I was going to say something, but I don't know if 21's still rolling, so all right, no.
Yeah, I still got it going.
Okay, well, we'll just leave that comment out, what I was going to make. No, that's okay.
Now, Ranger, can you hear 45?
Yeah, I hear you, 45. What's going on?
What's going on? But, yeah. Oh, man. But, it was just terrible, man. We lost the game. It was 5-3, I believe. We just don't look good. They'll straighten it out, hopefully. I hope.
Well, maybe you'll do better next time.
Yeah. Hey, I was gonna buy me one of those Daiwa meters. Anybody ever own any of their stuff?
I had one a long time ago that was a crosshatch, and I didn't like it. Not because it was the brand, I just didn't like the crosshatch thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna get one. One reason I'm gonna get it is because it's good for the whole band, specifically, including the Citizens Band and 2 meters. And plus I needed it because it's got I think it's a 3,000 watt scale, so you can switch it 20. No, it's 2,000 watts, but it will still be within my limits. Within my limits on HF. So.
Roger.
I'm used to the cross meter. That's why I'm buying it, so I can read that and the SWR at the same time. There, reflected power. But see, I'm used to that. I didn't like it either. I've got one of those on my Cougar, and it did take me a while to get used to that there,
Yeah, I just had it for a while, and I don't know. I was mainly trying to use it to set my mobile, and I just got to where I couldn't, I don't know, some reason it just was harder for me, because I was actually used to, started out with a Radio Shack 3-meter deal, and then I went to the PDC 6000, and then I went to the one with the 1 meter, and then went to the Dozy meter, and so I know I've got a bird meter and all like that, a bird 43, but it's not that I'm worried about what the wattage is. I only use that as a reference. I know what it's supposed to put out, and if it deviates from that, I know there's something going on. I don't necessarily watch it all the time. It's just that's a reference point. That's all it is. I don't care. Well, that's not right. That's not the right wattage. You gotta have a Dozy. You gotta have it and all like that. Well, I got one. I mean, a bird 43 or whatever you want to have. But I'd use it just as a reference, and that's all. And it's no big deal with me. I don't have to worry about what Night Ranger likes on my radio or not. There, he don't bother me about me using a Dozy meter. He don't care.
I'm looking forward to getting a hold of it. Actually, getting it from Gigaparts. Yeah, it'll be real versatile for me. You know what I'm saying. So, I like it too because it has an average, average or peak, and I don't know, the Dozy, it's got RMS and peak. So I don't know, but I think that the Daiwa possibly will be a little bit more accurate.
Yeah, 10-4, yeah, like I say, Night Ranger doesn't really mind if I get what kind of meters I got over here, and I appreciate that,
Yeah, that's right, 987. I need that thing to measure my kitty, Well, the kitty, she's off
I gave Kitty the night off there, 987. I just got here. I don't feel like going through all that. I probably need to warm the place up a little bit later with it, but I'll just turn the heater on. I just got back from the hockey game, man, and walked in the shop. Roger that. Yeah, man, well, you sound good over here. I don't know if you're barefoot or running some preamp or anything, but you sound good this evening. There, I've got, I don't have a preamp on or anything this evening at all, so, you know, the signals are coming in just fine. I hear you. Yeah, the preamp is really nice on that particular piece of equipment there.
Oh yeah. I got some cam
Wow, that's pretty good, man. I'm putting out about well, my carrier's around 2 watts there. Alright, well, don't choke on that sausage or anything like that there, okay?
I make sure I won't.
When is that Charlotte Ham Fell? That's already over with. How about the Shelby? That's going to be this summer, isn't it?
Well, Shelby's Labor Day weekend, and so that's already happened. But Charlotte Ham Fest will be usually around the first weekend in March.
Okay.
And they just had the Stone Mountain Ham Fest. I think it was last weekend. I wanted to go, but I had other obligations.
45, you're too darn dirty, just like me.
I'm dirty, yeah, and I need to bathe.
You and I both.
Some guy posted on one of the forums that he was taking a Henry 2KD Classic down to that Stone Mountain Ham Fest too. I was wanting to go down there and look at it, but I didn't get to.
Big 45 and myself need to bathe our minds a little bit.
Yeah, well, you know, those things, they're so daggum heavy, you know. I don't know. They're, you know, and noisy. Wow. They're like that 3K Ultra. That thing sounds like a plane landing.
Well, I don't know. My Henry, you know, my Henry desktop's not noisy. But now, of course, some of the consoles are. But I'm not talking about the console. I'm talking about the desktop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if it's a KD, that's a desktop. If it's just a 2K or a 3K, that's a console. Yeah, those things, some of those things are 160 something pounds.
Yeah, 10-4.
I think that Collins 30S1's about 160 something pounds.
Yeah, I think some of the transformers in them weigh about 75 pounds in one of them.
Transformer I got in this kitty over here is pretty heavy. It's not that big though. It's not actually that heavy, but I don't know. The Palomar one on that two-piece bathing suit that I wear, 21. I tell you what, if that was all in one package, that'd be pretty heavy. The 300A.
Oh yeah.
I think my Henry 2KD-5, it's right about 70 pounds on that one. That's all in one. I know when I was up in Durham, North Carolina, and I had it, I'd just gotten it, and I had to carry it up 3 flights of stairs to my apartment that I was in at the time, and I had bruises on my arms the next day from where I was holding it, trying to carry it up 3 flights of stairs.
Yeah, that 10-tube Phantom isn't no light in the loafers either, you know.
Oh yeah, it takes 2 hands on that one. Well, just think about the Warrior. I've seen one Warrior in person, but I've never tried to pick it up. That's got, of course, that's the 2-piece unit, but that's got 4 transformers in it.
Yeah. I know when it's one at, but he won't get off of it there. I don't know. I really don't want it.
Well, I don't either. They, you know, 2600 Nomad radio. He said it really wasn't that great a design on that anyway. Did you see that guy that wants $1,500 for a Heathkit SB220 on eBay?
No, I didn't see it.
Yeah, good luck getting $1,500 for a Heathkit SB220. Not a bad amp, but not worth $1,500.
It's not on the yellow table, is it?
No.
Doggone. Well, hey, man, I'll catch y'all later, man. I'll go get a shower and all, man. Enjoyed it. Wish I could stay longer. I'll be back out of here later. Most of you guys will be gone, but we'll catch you later, man. 45 in this creek. Oh, in the Palmetto. Sitting on back.
10 Roger there. A 45 Grandmaster sitting around with a palmetto tree. He planted 100%. Hey, have a good one. That's 21. Back out.
Talk to you later, 45. Have a good night.
Roger that, man. Y'all do the same. Catch you later. I'm out.
Well, Night Ranger 987, I really enjoyed it, man. I got to get ready to go in there and check out the Old Tube Radio Network. And we'll be watching your video there. And as soon as I can get at it, it'll be a little bit later on this evening. And sure am glad that, did the fellow that wanted to have your Browning on there, did he ever show up on your side?
Oh, yeah, he's there.
Okay. All right, well, ask him to come on and holler at me before he goes.
You know, unless he says something, I can't tell if he's still signed in. I know that there's 4 people still watching. All right, 21, everybody. I'll go ahead and end the video gate, too. Enjoyed it, as always. Made me get the Kenwood off the desk. I really didn't want to do it. You know, I was enjoying using that Kenwood, but cleaned off enough space to put the Browning back up and burn some dust out of it. So enjoyed it, everybody. Well, I'll talk to you later. Night Ranger. And in the old Radio Night video gate on my end.
10-4, me too. See you, 987.
Talk to you later, 987.